So I want to start this video immediately by saying that this DeLorean that I'll be playing around with today is not my design. So this guy right here, this is a MLC creation from a creator called Jerry Builds Bricks, who I found on YouTube. I was poking around looking for a DeLorean model that I liked that I could display on my shelf, and his video, in my opinion, it just really captures the shape and the character of the DeLorean from the Back to the Future franchise. Had beautiful, really simple butterfly doors that just absolutely work, and just the design on the back and adding tiles and things like that, especially this little piece here, I thought was really fascinating. But anyway, I just want to make it absolutely clear that this is not my design. I'm actually going to provide a link in the description where if you want to go see his video and check it out, he goes step by step, all the pieces that you need. He even provides bricklink order pages. Like it's awesome. You know, super easy to get all this stuff. But specifically in this video, I'm going to be talking about how you can modify it so that it can look like the DeLorean from any of the Back to the Future movies that you watch. So part 1, part 2, and part 3. If you saw my previous video, you can see that I really like modifying things that other people make. So that's what we're going to be doing today. So first things first, you know, pieces, I think it's important. So obviously I already talked about the DeLorean here. So this guy, if you pull it aside a little bit, this is from Jerry Builds Bricks on YouTube. So, you know, it's, again, like I said, it's just an awesome design. It's got like the little hover wheels at the bottom, so it looks like it's flying. It's got the food processor from the second movie. Again, beautiful butterfly doors here. It's got interior that the minifigure can sit in. I think I did a little modification so that they could fit a little bit better. I'm not sure. I remember, because I got this a while ago, I was playing around with it just to fit some more junk in the cabin for the figures. And then also, again, in the back, just so much really cool detail. Let me straighten that out a little bit. You know, it's my goal at some point to get the out-of-time license plate, but I'm not worrying about that right now. Specifically for this guy, the pieces are not too hard to get. Obviously, you know, it's just tiles and plates and things and wheels. I think the hardest things to find on Bricklink specifically was this little piece right here. You know, it's a little bending wire that follows through all these clips and clamps. And it's a really cool addition. Actually, if you shine a light, it's kind of like a fiber optic cable. So if you shine a light at the bottom, it would go looping all the way through and shine and illuminate the entire car, which was really, really cool. In fact, at some point when I was a little more ambitious, I had a little string light set up that had the headlights and all these things, and it was pretty neat. But I prefer not to limit my displays like that, so I took that out actually. But anyway, that piece is a little bit tougher to come by. And then also, if I bend this guy up, these hubcaps here, it's not something I'm familiar with, and I remember it being a little bit tricky. In fact, where I bought it from, they didn't have all 4, so this one is actually a little bit different than the rest. But it's not that big a deal, you know, it gives it some character. It's just a beat up DeLorean, so it doesn't really matter what the hubcaps look like. So anyway, that's Jerry Builds Bricks over here. So every piece that you need, go watch his video, check it out, and he'll tell you everything you need for that. And then next, I think it's important to talk about the figures. I'm a huge proponent for authentic figures. I kind of hate it when I have to make my own, but you know, I'll do it if the need arises. But specifically for this is actually, they made a great Lego Dimension set. I think it cost me maybe $20–25, and it comes with obviously Doc here, and he's got his little remote control for the car. So I'll put him right over there. And then it comes with Marty with a really cool guitar piece and the jacket and all that stuff. You see his hair. It looks a little bit like Michael J. Fox too, so I really like that a lot, that the pastel color of the pants too. And then, last but not least, and this is obviously a really cool piece, it's actually the hoverboard from the second movie. Just a little tiny design on the bottom to make it look like it's floating, and it's got that really cool retro but futuristic look to it. And all of these are authentic Lego pieces. They come from a set. They're all sold together. So I wasn't really big in Lego Dimensions. I never did anything like that, but I love it for getting really cool figures like these guys, or, you know, Chow from Portal or something like that. Like, it's super cool that we're able to get those special characters. And then last but not least, here's the actual modifications that I went with. So these guys are going to be used to put the wheels just like a regular car. This is, you know, just some little round pieces to replace the food processor for when it's not there for in the first movie. Here is the modifications to the engine from the third movie, and then I think if you've seen the movie, you probably know what this is from. This is the hook that they used to get back to the future in the first movie, and so on. So I'll walk through these step by step and where you put them and what you do, and all the pieces that were used and necessary. So we'll go through that in just a moment. So the first step in modifying this guy, obviously, is putting the wheels back on the side. So for Jerry Builds Bricks, he used these side studs here, if you can see them shining in the light, and then just this little mechanism like this. So these guys, they hinge up and down, and then obviously they connect just to the wheel with that little connector piece, and they attach to the side. You saw it earlier, just to make it the little hover car. So we actually, what we're gonna do is we're going to replace these guys with this piece. I'm not sure the part number or anything like that. And I think you guys can probably find this on your own. But anyway, you just take the wheel, clip it in, and then this guy pops right onto the sides, no problem. There's not even like a spacing issue. I was actually astonished. I bought these just on a whim on Bricklink, and they came in and it was perfect. So I'm just going to throw these on. And there we go. So that was quick and easy. So now this guy rolls no problems. So if you see, there's no spacing issues on the wheels. It's actually pretty perfect, honestly, in my opinion. So those guys, they come right on and off. So, and then the next step that you're going to want to do, if you want to modify this to be, again, this is going to be for the first Back to the Future movie. They did not have the food processor, so we're going to pop this guy right off. And while we're here, I may as well show you what it looks like. So this is the food processor. It's just a little. It's not as big as a lightsaber piece. I'm not sure the rod length, maybe 3 studs. Yeah, it looks like 3 studs. Just with a little gear on there, and then a little guide to make it look like a food processor. So, and then this transparent piece, I think it does a lot to add to it. Specifically for the first movie, I mean, this is kind of be your standard DeLorean. So this guy's always going to be pretty consistent in all of the movies. Initially, if you look at some photos, there's this sort of like, I don't even know what it is. They just add a whole bunch of texturing in the back to make it look like a futuristic little car, but there's this little round thing, and if you see that little 2x1 tile with the one middle stud, we're just gonna pop this on. This is 3 of those plates on top of each other, and we just pop it on in the back. Oop, it's rolling away from me here. Oop, just like that. So this is gonna be your beginning car. So this is what Marty McFly first sees when he runs in with Doc at the mall parking lot. And you know, this is really nice, but again, like compared to some other stuff that you're going to see in just a minute here, this is kind of the more bland version of the car. Again, this is just the standard very beginning of the movie, what Marty encounters for the first time. And actually, I'll give you a little closer look in the back, since that's the important part. So it looks pretty cool, but again, you'll see some other stuff. I am a big fan of the hook, which we're going to talk about in just a second, and then I'm also a big fan of Back to the Future 3 with the little guy right here. So moving on to the hook, if you remember in the movie, Doc is trying to send Marty back to the future. They're going to use the lightning strike that's going to hit the clock tower at precisely this time, and they know because the clock stopped at this time, and so on and so forth. So I wanted something that reflected that moment in the movie, so I designed this little hook, and this was super easy. It's the perfect size. It's I think it's like, what, 6-7 parts? It's not that big a deal. So if you look, there's this little clamp guy right here, some texturing with that little radiator in the back, and then a very short, again, I think it's only a 3-stud little axle piece. And then up, I think the only tricky part to get would be this hook. I had it from an old special agent set. I don't remember what it was from, but this guy just pops right onto one of these guys. And then again, you can adjust the angle, so, you know, all the way up and so on and so forth. I found that clicking it 2 up is perfect. And then just like the other time, I just removed the round pieces, and we're just gonna pop this guy on in the back, so it's just like that. So now this is gonna be reflecting that moment in the movie where he is just careening towards the telephone wire, and Doc is suspended, and he's trying to figure it all out. And you know, if you were really into it, you could probably make a whole scene for that too. But I really like just the look of this guy with the hook too, just like in the movie. moving on to the second movie, actually the Jerry Builds Bricks design is from the second movie, so that's easy peasy. When that thing, all the parts come in the mail, you're already good on the second movie. So again, I put the hover wheels back on, so that's when the car becomes a little hover car. And in order not to use the plutonium or whatever they used in the first movie, he switches to an organic food processor. So again, I walked you through the pieces you need for this, and if you order from, I cannot stress this enough, Jerry Builds Bricks, the video is incredible. He has resources for everything. I think you can buy all the parts together somewhere. Either way, if you buy this set, or if you're interested in the set, the parts that you order is going to come with all this stuff. So then you will already be set for the second movie. And the beauty of getting the Lego Dimension set is also coming with this hoverboard, which is, it's a big part of the second movie. And Marty McFly gets into a whole bunch of trouble with that stuff. So at this point, the second movie is really covered. And again, this is an incredible display, and it'll be, probably the first one you start with if you're building this guy just from scratch. So. And last but certainly not least is Back to the Future 3. So as you can see, I already threw on just the regular tires that I got the modifications for. So this guy is back to rolling again. Food processor stays on, so that's going to stay in the back there. But the newest addition that we're going to do is this little guy right here. So this is just a 2x4 dark red plate. I think I didn't have an actual 2x4, so I had to use two 1x4s. But anyway, there's just a little bit of greebling on top just to look like a little mechanical thing, because he alters the engine a little bit. So a little radiator piece and some clips and slopes and tiles and stuff, just to make it a little interesting. And the beauty of it is, you don't have to take anything off of the original set. You're just adding on, and it's really easy to add on. You just clip it, bloop, right there on the front. So now, if you look at it, you got the nice DeLorean from Back to the Future 3 with the little hood ornament there too, and the food processor in the back. The one thing, if I were to change anything, I would like to take the wheels off and just keep the rims, and then have that guy on a railroad track or something like that. But I don't think they have tracks that are quite this wide. If you can see, it is just a little bit wider than 6. It's just smidgen over into, and it's not even a full 8 either. So it's just a little bit of a tricky width, just with how things are placed. And I think when I was looking into it, I never ordered any pieces, but I remember coming to the conclusion that it wouldn't fit onto any of the tracks that are available. If I'm wrong, please let me know in the comments, because I would love to pick something up. So if you end up doing this and you find something that works, I would love to hear about it. So in any case, this is the modification for Back to the Future 3. And as a final note, I like to explore some other stuff when I'm making these things. I always order extra, or I try different things, or if I think one piece is going to be better than the other or something like that. So one thing I tried to do is these little tire pieces right here. In the movie, he has white wall tire with red rims, and I wanted to make it stand out a little bit. So I just tried. I was trying some different things. I found these in my bucket back home, and I wanted to try them out. And I'm gonna be honest right now, it is not necessarily my favorite thing. It looks fine. It's pretty visually interesting, but it's actually a little bit bigger than the wheels. So when you squeeze them in instead of the hubcaps, if you see, let me stack one of these on top of the other. It's just the slightest bit wider. I know it's hard to tell, but actually when you pop this guy in, it pushes the wheel a little bit out, which makes me uncomfortable, because you're stretching the rubber a little bit, and the wheel is not entirely flat anymore, and all these things. So, but just for the sake of showing you guys, I did pop it in on this side. So you can see it does add a little bit splash of color, and it's, I would say, a little more representative of what's in the movie. But for me, the trade-off wasn't really worth it to have these in. But oh yeah, let me actually show you what it's doing to the tire. So take this guy off. So you can see it's just stretching it just the smallest bit, versus on this side. I'm terribly sorry. There's no issues at all, right? So this guy is nice and flat, and then this guy is just being stretched out just a little bit. So that's not my favorite thing in the whole world, but I figured I'd show you guys anyway that how it looked. And again, it's just a little splash of color that makes it a little more visually interesting. So that's going to be about wrapping it up for this video. So again, here's all the parts. These guys, again, if you order the set pieces from Jerry Builds Bricks, these 4 little things are going to come in, and then this as well. So the only modifications that I did is this little top row here, and then obviously the hook, which again, it's just my favorite thing to display, because this is such an iconic scene from the movie, and having this guy roll with the little hook is just, I love it on my shelf. And then again, if you're interested in the figures, these are from the Lego Dimensions set. I think it was discontinued, so it might be a little bit pricier to pick up, but again, it didn't cost me any more than something like $20 to $30. So this is gonna be the end result. I'll just throw on some different parts and pieces so you see. And it's really nice, you know, if you're a fan of the movie and you can just transform your car to be whatever model you want it to be. It's fun to keep it on your shelf and shake things up. And my girlfriend had actually never seen these movies before, so every time we started a new one, I switched this guy up, and she could recognize the changes and how the car evolved throughout the 3 films. So if you have any questions on what or why I did anything, let me know in the comments. And then also, I implore you to please check out Jerry Builds Bricks video. Again, I couldn't have done any of this stuff without such a cool MOC. And this is my favorite of all the ones that are available on YouTube. Credit to everybody else that does them too, because they are all incredible. I'm kind of astonished that these guys, they come out so incredibly well, given just the parts. It always astounds me what people can come up with. So I hope you guys enjoyed.